Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us and all of the ocean advocates we have in our community today. Um, let's go ahead and get started. So, just so everyone knows, I am Katie Hogg Moore. I serve as Ocean Conservancy's Senior Manager of Digital Engagement here at Ocean Conservancy, but I am, in fact, not the star of the show today. I am thrilled to be chatting with Kelvin Beachum Jr., Protect Where We Play Team Ocean Captain and 14-year NFL veteran, and we are going to be talking about all things Protect Where We Play. Um, I know from what I know about you, Kelvin, that you have always led with purpose, and you are now using your platform to basically protect our planet, and it is so amazing and inspiring. So, Kelvin, I will let you share a little bit about yourself with our audience. Go ahead.
Awesome. So going into year 15, so have played 14 years in the National Football League. Have been fortunate to work in and around access to clean water and the conversation around water for a number of years. Started with my involvement with an organization called World Vision, joined Protect Where We Play, joined as a captain a couple of years ago in relation to a company that I was spending a lot of time with called CellGP. They're racing on water, F1 on water. So I'm like, I'm involved in CellGP. Like, what does this actually look like as it pertains to how we're finding a way to make an impact and serving society? And somehow stumbled upon this entity called Ocean Conservancy, and it's been a phenomenal relationship over the years. And it really just speaks to how I fundamentally believe in the way in which we not only protect our planet, but also how we interact with water in general, whether that's the way in which the global north and the global south interact with water, developing countries interact with water, the way in which sport takes a huge and makes a huge play within the way in which we're leveraging water in our oceans, considering how much we travel, which, now the NFL is starting to expand globally. So we're flying over the seas and over the Atlantic and over the Pacific a little bit more. So knowing that we play a role in what's going on the waterfront. So, for me, it's just taking on a life of its own. And like I said, excited that I stumbled and you all stumbled upon little old me to talk about the ocean.
Well, we're so happy we stumbled upon you, and you're just so passionate about what you do to protect water and our earth in general. So, speaking of water, we would love to know a couple things. Number one, would love to know what your favorite thing about the ocean specifically is and what drives you to want to protect it. And then I will get to my next question, which kind of has something to do with that as well.
So fundamentally, I really do believe that if we can go to Mars, right? That's what we talk about. If we can go to Mars, why can't we go to the bottom of the ocean?
Excellent question.
We can put somebody on the moon,
Yep.
but it's hard for us to think about what's going on at the bottom of the ocean. So for me, it's just this fascination with water, the planet, how we interact, gravity and what it looks like going into space, but also what it looks like going to the bottom of the ocean. Um, and then, I'm a kid at the end of the day. I watched Captain Planet growing up. So for me, it's one of those things like, why can't, not that I need to be Captain Planet by any means of the imagination, but it's like, what can I do to participate in something that is impacting our society in a very interesting way? And for me, it's just like, if we can go to Mars, if we can go to Neptune, and we're trying to have satellites to go that far out, like, why can't we just, protect where we put? I'm an offensive lineman. It's all about protection. And like, how
Yep.
can we think about what we currently have not at our disposal, but what we have access to in an everyday fashion? And how do we become more educated about what's going on beneath us? Atlantis, again, I go back to cartoons.
Yep.
Like, how do we think about, these things that are happening at the bottom of the ocean and being able to participate in a positive manner in that particular regard?
Yes, and somebody commented, and I totally agree with them, that we love that you're outside in nature, just soaking it all up while you're talking to us about nature. It's fantastic, and we're just so happy you're here again. But on that note, I think a lot of us really it started when we were young and when we were kids. When it comes to passion for the ocean, it starts for people at all ages, though. So do you have a favorite memory or something about the ocean that inspires you that you can remember that popped into your head?
What's interesting is I didn't grow up around the ocean. The closest thing that
Hmm.
I got to water was a pond,
Hmm.
a lake, to go fishing and things of that nature. But it wasn't until I got exposed as a professional athlete to being able to travel the world where I got to experience what the ocean really meant, how powerful the ocean is. And I happened to be out in Hawaii years ago for the NFLPA meetings,
Mm.
and we were staying in Maui. And no, even before that, take that back. So I've been to Hawaii a number of times for bowl games. So when I played at SMU, we went to Hawaii to play in a bowl game. This had to be in no 2010. 2010, we went and played at the Hawaii, played in the bowl game in Hawaii, and just experienced the ocean for the first time. That was the first time that I ever got to experience the ocean. So as a 20 year old, 19,
Hmm.
20 year old, was the
Yep.
first time that I got to experience it. And then for me, one of the most impactful times was when I was there for the PA meetings. This had to be maybe 2015, 2016. I had just signed with the Jaguars and was there, hanging out by myself. Um, and the ocean felt like it was like pulling me in. And I
Hmm.
was like,
It'll do that.
it'll do that. And I'm like, I'm a big guy, I'm a strong guy. Like I'm a protector at the end of the day, but the ocean had a little bit more to and this I'm like knee deep. It's not like it's I'm not out in the ocean, I'm not snorkeling. Um, but it's those types of experiences that really just made me experience the world in a much different way. And then lastly, I can tell you this: when I had the opportunity to snorkel the Great Barrier Reef off the
Oh,
coast of Australia, we stayed at this place called Lizard Island. And stayed in what was that place? Uh, See, this why you gotta have a good wife. She recalls all these places you went to. But I remember Lizard Island because we got to go and um, snorkel the Great Barrier Reef or outside the Great Barrier Reef, and then we actually stopped by the island where they brought Crocodile Dundee
wow.
after he passed away from the stingray
Hmm.
incident, and seeing the ocean in that particular respect. So for me, I've been fortunate, I've been blessed to see the ocean in a number of different ways. But it all started for me out in Hawaii, bowl game in 2010. And again, when I went out to Hawaii for PA meetings, Australia, spending time there. Um, uh, while in Australia at the Great Barrier Reef, but I'm gonna tell you the craziest story. I'm sorry,
I'm
you
ready.
got me
I'm
going.
buckled up.
Okay, so I happened to be in Mozambique right before the pandemic, right?
Hmm.
And wife and I get to Mozambique, um, beautiful water, right? Beautiful water. We come out the next morning and the water is gone. I had never seen or heard of low tide, high tide.
Hmm.
So I
Where's
walk
the
out.
water?
Where's the water? I'm getting like goosebumps because I remember the experience of literally walking out of the room in the morning, nice, beautiful morning like this. And I walk out and I don't see the ocean. I don't see the water. And it's for miles. Remember, I got there, I saw boats, little canoes and little mini boats, stationed where we were at the resort there. Came out the next morning. Water was gone. So
God.
I just walked out as far as I could into where the ocean was. My wife took a picture. I got to bring that picture up and share that picture at some point in time. And I just walked and walked and walked and still didn't find the ocean. But guess what? I took a nap and I came back. And after I took that nap, the
And
ocean
it
was
said,
back.
surprise, I'm
It's that
back.
surprise. I'm back.
It'll do that. Our ocean, it surprises us every day. We're
Yeah.
still making new discoveries every single day. And these are the kind of stories that just show how much it surprises us and continues to
Yeah.
inspire us.
Yeah.
Um,
One more. Can I
so,
get one more story? One more
oh my
story. One more
gosh, as
story.
many stories as you
So,
want. We're here to
yeah.
hear about
Last
you,
one. Last
Kelvin.
one. Last one. And then, that just got me going about the ocean. So, last one. I am big about like how do you see where oceans and bodies of water meet each other, right? So again, I was there in South Africa, and I can't
Hmm.
remember what country we were in, but got to experience the Indian meeting the Atlantic and seeing that experience. And then I was in Iceland, just got back from Iceland recently, well, last night actually, and I
Wow.
got to experience the Arctic touching, I think it's the Greenland Ocean, like that. So for
When
me,
they meet
again,
each other, yep.
they meet each other. So again, it's just seeing how these bodies of water interact with each other. But that's enough. I'm sorry.
No, you never have to
Those are good.
apologize for raving about the ocean to us. You come to us anytime you want to rave about the ocean, and we will give you the microphone, Kelvin. Um, well, speaking of just giving you the microphone, so my next question for you has to do with how people can get involved in advocating for the causes that they really care about. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's kind of like taking that first step feels like a lot for some people, maybe very overwhelming, especially if you're starting later on.
Yeah.
Sometimes the first step, though, is often what matters most when it comes to advocating for the causes closest to our hearts. So
Mhm.
here's my question for you. What is your message for sports fans? And when I say this, I mean sports fans of all ages, but especially young sports fans who are really just starting to get engaged in their communities about the issues that matter to them. If you could give them any advice as they're starting their journey advocating and engaging with their community, what would it be?
Find a way to immerse yourself.
Mm,
Simple as that. Like start with immersion. And some people will say, well, Kelvin, I can't afford that. I don't have the money to go here. I don't like, just find a way to immerse yourself in whatever environment that happens to be in. Before I ever got to see an ocean, I went to the aquarium.
hmm
Now, I don't want to go to the aquarium anymore because I'd rather go just experience that type of life in the environment it happens to be in. So meet that passion wherever it happens to be right now, but it pertains to being immersed in whatever environment that happens to be. So just take the time to be immersed more than anything. And that'll be the best place to start. And it doesn't cost you a thing.
Yep.
Now if you're in um, rural Nebraska, it may be a little hard to find access to the ocean.
Yep.
But those that happen to be near bodies of water, like figure out what that looks like and then find a way to get involved. Um, and the thing is, it's just a small step.
hmm
It boils down to the willingness to want to learn. It has nothing to do with capital, socioeconomic status, when you
Yep.
came from, ethnicity, religion. Take the small step to make a choice on your behalf
Yeah.
to want to do something that you find important to you. Not to
Yep.
your mama, not to your daddy, not to your brother, not to your sister, not to your cousin, not to your auntie, uncle, etc. What's important to you, and then allowing that to feed what it is you happen to be passionate about.
Beautiful. I feel like I need to put that on a poster. I mean, incredible. Thank you for that, Calvin. And speaking of causes that are really important to the royal you, but also you,
Yeah.
for our audience members that are not as familiar with Protect Where We Play, this is a campaign of ocean conservancies that just turned a year old. So we're celebrating
Yeah.
one whole year of Protect Where We Play. And it rallies athletes, artists, performers, creatives, everybody to just rally support for our ocean to protect the natural environments that we depend on for so many things that we might not realize sports, arts, so many things. So, I guess I would love to hear from you, Kelvin, to share with our audience what drew you to become a Protect Where We Play Team Ocean captain? Like, what really activated you to want to join us in this movement?
I think more than anything, I get to be authentically myself.
Yes. Mm,
There is nothing outside of that. I get to be authentically myself. I mean, y'all just heard me geek out about the different oceans and the thing is like as you asked the question, like I went down memory lane and like more memories started popping up based off of me being
yeah.
authentically myself, you know?
hmm
And for me, anytime I'm working with a partner or working with any entity that I want to be able to build a sustainable and long-standing relationship with is where can I be authentically myself? And you all have afforded that opportunity for me to do so and do so in my own time. It's not like I'm forced to do anything. I'm not asked to go outside of myself. I get to do this authentically and I get to do it organically. Like I had no idea I was going to be talking about the Arctic Ocean and the Greenland Ocean meeting or talking about snowmobiling on the glacier. Like that was just or me organically going and seeing a spot. I had to go do some business there and got to go experience some things that I hadn't experienced before. So for me, it's more than anything, I get to be authentically myself, and that goes a long ways for me.
Well, we know that your passion for this cause and just engaging with communities about it is just incredibly palpable, and we're so grateful. Um, I do have one more question for you that's a very important one and may require you to do some really difficult thinking. So, um, well, first, on a serious note, I just really appreciate you joining and sharing with our community your mission, um, how much you care about engaging people about this really important cause. But I do, like I said, have an important question that our audience is now on the edge of their seat because they're like, what is she about to ask? And that is, what is your favorite ocean animal and why?
So, am I allowed to have two, or
Abs-
can I only get one?
Absolutely. You may have as many
Okay,
as you'd like.
okay. First and foremost, this is going back to just like how I grew up. For some reason, Jonah in the belly of the whale was a great story that I loved reading as a child.
Hmm.
And Jonah, being in the belly of a whale for 3 days. So I love whales. Love whales. Never seen
Love
one in
whales
person.
too. I join you
Never
there.
seen never seen one in person. But favorite sea animal would be a whale. I'm not going to go into which particular whale I want to see. It's just a very, 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 very large whale. That's first and foremost.
Okay.
Secondly, and this is because training camp always happens the same time every year, the same time the Shark Week comes out.
Gotta love the
So
sharks.
I love the Sharks. Like you can be a silent assassin in business and life. It plays a role. You can be gentle. Sometimes sharks are gentle. Sometimes sharks are aggressive. You mess with a shark, they smell blood in the water. It turns into a whole thing. It can be very gentle. Like I mean, it's you get the hammerhead, you get the tiger shark, you get the great white shark. The migration of the sharks. Like it's a whole thing. So for me, those would be my two favorite sea animals.
Incredible answers and just two really, really incredible animals. And there's so many different incredible species that are for both whales and sharks that we have a lot of interesting content on the Ocean Conservancy website. So
Okay.
shameless plug. I again just want to thank you. I'm thanking you every 5 seconds, but we just love how passionate you are and hearing what you think about these things. Um, as I close out, well, first, is there anything else you want to share with our audience before we do a quick closeout and share a couple exciting things that are coming down the pike?
I'm an open book. So whatever you got, I'm all for it. I just got to find some more oceans to go check out. So uh, I got to go work on that. I got work to do.
Yes, and somebody in the chat earlier actually said, sounds like we need to get Kelvin at a cleanup in Hawaii. I think that sounds like an excellent idea. I endorse it.
The thing is I'm one of those people. I love going places I've never been before. So if you have a cleanup in a different place, I'd be more than happy to. I've
Let's
been to
find it.
Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I'm heading to Hong Kong, and then I will be in Japan. I will be in the Mediterranean here pretty soon. So I love just going places where I've never been before. So if you have a place that I've never been before, you let me know, and I will find a way to, possibly show up. We'll see.
Well, we have partners all over the globe, luckily. So I'm sure we can find a spot that you would be interested in joining a cleanup event. So we appreciate that interest. Um, Yeah, so we are so, so grateful that you joined us today, Kelvin. I'm just going to share a couple quick updates with our audience. Um, First is you can join Kelvin on Team Ocean by visiting protectwhereweplay.com and learning all about what we're doing with this amazing campaign to protect the places that we play. The ocean connects us all, as we all know, and we are on a mission to protect it so that we can enjoy sports, arts, entertainment for generations to come, and so that we can protect our ocean for future generations as well. The last things I'll say are Earth Month and Earth Day are coming very soon. Earth Month starts tomorrow, so please stay tuned to Ocean Conservancy's channels for some exciting ways to get involved. And we also have a few really exciting updates. One is our brand new wildlife impact calculator, which actually helps you determine when you go to a cleanup how many animals and what types of animals you may have helped protect by picking up certain types of trash. So please visit wildlifeimpactcalculator.org to check out this amazing new resource. We are so excited for it, especially ahead of Earth Month, National Ocean Month, and the International Coastal Cleanup in September. So lots more coming, but I don't want to spoil all the fun surprises. So with that, I will just thank you, Kelvin, for joining us and sharing so many incredible pearls of wisdom and your passion for the ocean. We are so, so grateful that you joined us.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You too.